Hi, this is Lisa Rangel from Chameleon Resumes, a premier executive resume writing company, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about 5 maneuvers you can do now to make your employer believe you are worth retaining. This advice is going to be a little counterintuitive to what most people believe their employer wants to see in a loyal employee. And it's crucial now more than ever to really think about how your employer perceives you and how that can contribute to whether whether they decide to keep you or whether they decide to let you go if your company's at those crossroads of shedding staff and deciding who to keep and who to lay off. So this is hard talk. This is a tough discussion, but I think it's really important that you don't stick your head in the sand. And, even if you think you're not at risk, I think this video is even more important for you to watch because over the last few months, I have talked to countless people, countless individuals who felt they were safe, felt they were being retained, felt that they were going to help the company weather the storm that was upcoming or that they were in, only to find out days or weeks later that I'd get the email like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It happened to me. And they were laid off totally unexpectedly, despite seeing the chaos around them. They thought they were safe and then in turn they weren't. So I just want you to be prepared. I don't want to scare you. I don't want this to, feed into the frenzy, but I do really think it's important to be prepared, which is a mantra I have said from the day I started this business back in 2009. I mean, I started this business out of a downturn. So I'm just a big believer in being prepared. And that's the context in which I offer you this information. So this way you can be prepared. And I think you can be prepared to help your employer choose to keep you, as well as be prepared in case they don't. So that's the context in which I give you this information. So the first maneuver that you can do is don't ever let your employer think you will never leave. And that goes against the grain for so many people because they pride themselves on being loyal. And I'm not saying don't be loyal. I'm not saying that your LinkedIn profile should look like you're looking for a job. I'm not saying that at all. But a lot of individuals that I've spoken to over the last 6 months, particularly that have been surprisingly laid off, their resumes were not done. Their LinkedIn profiles were stagnant at best, abandoned at worst. And I firmly believe that employers look at this, and I've had this validated by a number of HR and talent management professionals over the last year, that although it's by no means a sole decision point in whether somebody is chosen to be retained or to be let go, but employers, especially small and mid-sized employers, look at their employees' LinkedIn profiles. And if they're not worried about you being released causing any optic backlash, like why did we let them go? They look amazing on LinkedIn. When you don't look amazing on LinkedIn, it makes your company less worried about what it looks like if they let you go. So this is a contributing factor if other factors lean towards letting you go. So don't ever make them think you will never leave. And the key is, I think, any good relationship, any good employment relationship, it should never be that someone's being taken advantage of, right? You should always want to earn your keep. They should want to work to retain you, and you should want to work to continually want to work for them. So don't let them think that you'll never leave because it could work against you if they think you won't cause a ripple effect if they let you go. The second maneuver that I think you should engage in ASAP is let your employer see you engage with your industry and or profession. And again, this isn't to say, hey, I'm interviewing with the competition. By no means am I suggesting that you do that. But let them see that you visibly on LinkedIn speak with vendors, speak with clients, engage with people in your industry, engage with competitors in a proper sense, of course. You maybe comment on someone's posts, or they may see you at a convention or a conference and you took a picture and posted it. And again, all within proper judgment, confines, of course, but let them see you be engaged. Again, because this is a small but pivotal factor about optics. How is it going to look like if we let so-and-so go when they look like they're a leader in the industry? They look like they're a leader in their profession. People are going to wonder, why are we letting them go? They're amazing. Again, if you don't look amazing online, nobody's going to wonder why they let you go, because you haven't been keeping up. So it infers that maybe you aren't a cutting edge talent that's worth retaining when you let everything fall by the wayside. So the third maneuver that you can do to help your employer believe that you are worth retaining is that, and I guess I've kind of been talking about this point a little bit already, but be so good that your employer has to worry about the message that will in an undercurrent sense be sent by letting you go, right? So you want them to have to consider, well, we're letting so-and-so go. Everybody's going to wonder why. So I kind of got ahead of myself. I did bleed those into that number 3 into 1 and 2, but I think it's worth repeating. Again, if you don't look that it's worth retaining you, maybe with some other decisions that point towards that, some other points that point to that decision of letting you go, if it's compounded by the fact that you look like you won't cause a ripple effect of optics, that's going to contribute to the let's lay this person off decision versus like, maybe we should think about this a little bit. Let's just hold off, right? So be so good that it makes them wonder, why are they letting you go? And it may cause them to reconsider. The fourth point is create demand for you, your brand, and what you do. Right now, this also means cultivating people around you. This also means making sure clients, vendors, whoever you interact with views you as an asset that should not be let go, that it would cause concern if you were. And now, don't get me wrong, no one is irreplaceable. And nor should you be irreplaceable, because it means you can't advance either, right? Because if you're so entrenched in what you do that nobody else can do it, well, you're never going to move out of that job either. So that could backfire. But you need to be able to make sure that you're creating a demand for what you do. Because again, if you create a demand for what you do and your employer sees you, in the spirit of just knowing and learning and staying connected to your industry, seeing you interface with competitors and vendors and clients and going to conferences and things like that, they're going to be like, well, we have to work at retaining this person, especially if they want to, right? So, which kind of leads me to number 5, which I'll get to in a minute, but you want to make sure you're creating a demand for what you do, because then they have to work at retaining you. Right? I feel like a secondary title to this video is, does your employer think you are recruitable, right? Because if they think you're recruitable, they're going to have to work hard to keep you. If they think nobody else wants to recruit you, and I don't say that to be glib or harsh, but if you haven't created a demand for yourself, they're not going to work hard at retaining you. Because if they know, to get back to number 1, that you're never going to leave, and they know that you're good at what you do, so okay, they won't let you go, but they know that you're not going to be recruited by anybody else either, combined with, again, that they know you're never going to leave, why are they going to put resources into trying to retain you? They know you're never going to leave, and they know no one else is recruiting you because you haven't put out a brand that shows that you should be in demand. So this is important. You have to be ready, but you have to also put out a vibe that you are recruitable and that you are on top of your game and people know it. Which leads to number 5, the 5th maneuver to do. Don't be too comfortable. That is often the kiss of death. When people are too comfortable and they have a stagnant / abandoned LinkedIn profile, they don't have a resume ready, they haven't been engaging with their network, they have like less than 500 or even worse, like less than 100 LinkedIn connections, which show they're not interfacing or connecting with people, at least outwardly. Now, that is all a sign that you will not cause a ripple effect, most likely, optically anyway, if you're let go. And if you're redundant in your company, if there isn't a demand for what you do and they know you'll always, that you're comfortable and you're not necessarily challenging yourself or taking on new things, these are all signs that you could be at risk and your employer may not view you as retainable. So make sure that you do these 5 maneuvers so this way you are ready and your employer, you are creating demand that an employer will think you're worth retaining, and you will cause a ripple effect if you are let go. They'll make the external world wonder why they let somebody as awesome as you go. That's the vibe you want to create. So if this has helped you, I'm going to ask you to like it. If you want to learn how to get that first step done, make sure you have a resume that's ready. So when those recruiters call, you can send it, or you can apply internally for roles, and then your company internally sees that you have it ready also, which is also a sign that you are recruitable and worth retaining. Make sure that you attend my next resume training session that I'm doing. You can register for free, it's no cost, using the link outside this video. And make sure you share this video with anyone else who might be feeling stuck, might be feeling too comfortable, might be feeling at risk, or maybe they don't feel at risk at all. They probably need this video even more. Make sure you share the video and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you do not miss next week's video. And of course, if you have any comments or concerns, feel free to email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com or comment below. I pride myself on trying to read and reply to every email and every comment as best I can. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at the next training session. Take good care.